What up, what up, what up? Look no further than the Blue Ridge Silverhound show. Every time's a good time for a cup of coffee, but you know how that goes. I'm living on 3 cups of coffee every day, delivering a little bit of market news for you. So what's the deal with the West Point quarters here lately? I could honestly say, looking through some of the most recent sales data of the last few weeks, maybe up to a month, things are kind of like rock steady Eddie, if not maybe just a little bit eerily quiet, and this is probably a good thing, no doubt about it. I mean, it's in times like this when things start to slow down a little bit, you begin to appreciate what's out there. And I've always been incredibly hyped, incredibly bullish over the 2019 and 2020 West Point circulation quarters. Most specifically, the coins that I am personally targeting, and I wasn't picking up nearly as many of these as I was 6 months ago. Like around the holidays, I picked up about a good roll's worth of various parks from both 2019 and 20, and I was probably paying at the height of the premium of these things. But I was targeting primarily mid-state condition coins. These are going to be the examples that are, of course, going to have the most sustainable value, number one. Number two, they're going to be the coins that more people later on down the road are going to want to obtain to grade. I am a firm believer that there is still a lot of raw ungraded stock out there that has some gems left over. Meaning like Mid-State 67 and up. Now, Mid-State 67, I've always said, and I'll say it again, has always been the performance coin of the entire 2-year series. If you could get yourself a Mid-State 67, if you're a grader of these things, and you could earn yourself a Mid-State 67, kind of like what I have here in this was this War in the Pacific, you will do extremely well in the long run. These are going to be the coins that are going to be highly desired and sought after. So, great topic, because we're heading kind of into the summer months. And normally, the market within coins that suffers the most, and now I mean the word suffering like is very, very lightly, because the last 2 years has been quite abnormal for the coin market in general, because we are living in a pandemic, But the modern market as a whole, coins from about 1940 all the way up to the current date, have generally taken the biggest kind of like hit in the marketplace throughout the summer months. There is still a pretty sizable show that happens over the summer. Was at Long Beach, I believe. And then there are a number of shows that kind of follow on the tail end of the summer months heading into fall, when the market and when people and dealers and big time collectors come into it. We're going to see that. We're going to see that again. I think normal cycle within the marketplace, but kind of going back to what we were living in 3, 4, 5 years back. We always seen this drop off in a lot of the high end sales over the summer. Understandably so. People want to take vacations. They want to go to the beach. They want to go to the club. And all that great stuff. And they leave coins behind in the rearview mirror. And then they come back into it around September, October. But moderns has always been the sector of numismatics that has seen the greatest slowdown during the summer months. So if you're going to see this in 2022, ladies and gentlemen, this is normal. All right, this is going to be a normal life cycle to the coin market as we head past and through Memorial Day. So enter in the West Point quarters. These are going to be a great coin to pick up over the summer. There's still going to be quite a bit of activity on eBay. That's going to be kind of like my number one choice, go-to place to find some of these. And there's still going to be people listing these. Now, there's going to be coins that I'm going to be personally targeting, all right, throughout the summer. This is going to be one of them. Now, I'm telling everybody not to kind of spoil what I plan and intend to do and trying to buy some of these up at a much cheaper rate than say, a day ago when I didn't talk about it. But I figure I'd let everybody know that this is what I'm going to be doing. And, I'm going to tell about my personal crusade in obtaining more of these in mint state conditions. I'm going to be targeting lots more specifically than anything else because, again, when you're buying in quantity, you're buying the individual coins on a much cheaper price basis than, say, if you were buying, say, singular coins like this War in the Pacific for $15, but instead, why not buy 5 of them at the tune of $10 a piece? That makes a little bit of sense, right? But these, I've already noticed a little bit of a correction in these, and it's going to be short-lived. Now, being in the coin market and recognizing trends is something that I pride myself in. I've been doing it for well in excess of 15 years. I would say it's probably close to 16 years where I've kept trends of sales of coins, similar to this. I really take pride and ownership into recognizing the trend lines for these coins. Now, we are 3 years removed from when the 2019 West Points were released. It was a kind of a big deal. People loved them. All right. If you were going to look at the entire year of 2019 and know the 5 releases that came out for the year, okay, the Lowell National Park was the first one. It was the most hyped release in record of any circulation rarity coin. Now, because of that, there are more Lowell National Park 2019 West Points in much higher grades available in the marketplace than the other coins released thereafter. So you're going to have coins like the War in the Pacific. I believe this might be the second installment during the 2019 campaign. You have the San Antonio Missions, which was, if you were to look at all 5 designs, was probably the most lackluster performer. And this is the one actually that I think has a lot of potential. You also had the American Memorial Park, which to this day, and because it wasn't nearly as pursued at that fever pitch than the Lowell National Park, has all of a sudden risen to a $25, $30 price range for individual pieces. And then finally, we rounded it off with the River of No Return, which is the final installment out of the 5 quarters for 2019. Now, you have the Lowell and then you have the War in the Pacific as being the 2 main coins that people pursued the most, and they were being pulled out of rolls in the highest possible grades. Therefore, there are more examples of those. And those 2 particular national parks will see the minimal amount of increases over time because there's more of them out there in mint state condition. However, the 3 sleepers out of the 5 are going to be the American Memorial Park, which I think we've seen that ship come and sailed already because that coin is worth about double what all of the other quarters for 2019 is. But also the River of No Return and the San Antonio Missions are going to be the others that I think we'll see greater upticks over time. So those are naturally going to be the coins that you would want to target while the market has cooled off a little bit. I'm not afraid to say that the market has cooled off on these, and surely enough, They did. And you're going to see, these are some like completed sales. I mean, there's a ton of graded pieces that have sold. And someone had told me, what's your stance on 2000 or on graded mid-state 64s, 65s, and 66s? Well, I tell folks, I'm like, they're just okay. But I don't want to overspend on these type of coins. These are certainly okay to invest in and to hold on to, because, you know, the big picture is that these are low limited quantities. There are only 2 million of each park ever produced from 2019 to 2020. You got to understand this. It's a really substantial difference in the mintages of these coins compared to the regular Philadelphia and Denver minted coins. And that's why there's a lot of power within this short set over the long haul. I can't even get into what these could be worth 5 years from now. They might be worth the same. I don't know. But I can tell you this right now. There's going to become a point in time in the future. I'm going to go ahead and say it, near future. By the way, this is not financial advice. Rarely a lot of the things on my channel is financial advice. We're just spitballing here. That these coins will eventually go up. You're going to see this stagnation point, which I think we're firmly in right now. I think for the better part of 2022, the West Point Quarter Series has been stagnated. We haven't seen any more upward price movements on any of the coins, which is good news for us, for the folks that want to try and catch up and pick some of these up. Maybe pick up a complete set like this one for $75, you know, in really nice shape, represents a really solid buy. But also beware some of these sets that people had cracked open, uncirculated mint sets, and then in their place put in a full set of the 5 West Point quarters, which, by the way, it looks like a really brilliant looking compilation. It looks like it came from the mint that way, but didn't. These are selling for a tremendous amount of money because of the presentation. Nearly $150. By the time you factor in tax, you're well in excess of $150 for a complete set of BU 2019 West Point coins. Here's another one here. All right, that's also placed into one of those government holders. But your best bet is going to be to target raw coins and then deals like this. A mid-state 66, first week of discovery for $28.95 is an incredible deal. Because once all the 67s dry up in time, somewhere later on down the road, people are going to look at 66s as the next best alternative. And then you're going to see some sort of price movement in the future. Now, the one thing I will tell you is that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. All right? This is going to be one of those, you hoard them up. The good news is they're going to be worth what you paid for them, because they're not going to go to zero. They're not. They're not going to go down to the cost or price of face value on these. We're well beyond that. That ship will never come back to port. These coins will always be worth $10, $15, $20. Okay, you gotta go for the mid-state condition coins. These are going to be the ones that will have continuous selling power in time. Even when the market is rough, there's going to become a time, and I will say it, that the market will correct. Will it crash? Probably not crash, but the prices will slowly erode to much more normal rates once we, whenever that time comes when inflation starts to disappear and everything else, and people are less dependent on pouring money into coins, then something like this will be okay. And they will be a much more safer buy in time. Here's another San Antonio for $35. Here's a lot of 3, San Antonio NGC coins at 65, 6, and 7 for $120. I mean, that's a pretty good deal right there, you know. But there's a lot of coins that people are selling in quantity, and we're seeing probably for the first time in about a year and a half where I feel comfortable with actually going out and buying more of these, because there wasn't a period of time where I felt comfortable. I bought some in December, but also at the same time felt like, you know, man, these things are getting expensive. But I also understand the rarity of these as well. So, you know, you don't have to do anything. But when the market goes down, and a lot of people are thinking, well, I got to save my money. I don't want to buy anything, you know, that's going to go to zero, and, you know, the whole coin market, you know, goes into a frozen tundra. You know, I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but at this point in time, with the market dipping the way it is, it's a good time to buy something while the market is down. And if we could do this, then, you know, eventually these will get scooped up after the summertime, and you're going to start to see the prices kind of creep up a little bit. Again, this is not a get rich quick scheme, but, you know, let's say in 5 years you spent $1,000 on an assortment of these coins, you know, you're going to come away looking pretty good in 5 years, because, you know, these are going to be widely accepted as a mid campaign that was wildly successful, and people do remember that. You're going to have the same collectors that was out searching and hunting for these, that had sold off all their inventory while, you know, the tendies were good, and then they're going to get nostalgic about it, and then they're going to want to buy back in. The same way that video game people and collectors that used to play the video games of yesteryear from back in the 80s, they're the same people that are paying thousands of dollars for brand new sealed copies of Super Mario Brothers. But we're also going to see a similar trajectory with programs like this that really had a profound impact on the hobby. It got new collectors into the game, and it got people to realize that they're outside of the scope of the West Point Quarter series, that there's a lot of other coins and silver and other things that are a lot of fun to collect as well. So people will get nostalgic for these later on down the line, you know, however many years down the future that's going to be. And people are going to buy in. But you're going to have a lot of people that buy into it, and then you're going to have a lot more people in the future that are making way much more money than I'm making, you know, that are going to buy these. And it's going to adjust the value of the coins in a huge way. But I'm seeing nothing but just a lot of positivity from this market currently. Excuse me. In spite of some folks that believe that the market is junk right now, I see it as an opportunity to buy. All right? Because we've lived through the last 18 to 24 months with incredible performance. A lot of people made a ton of money during the bull run of numismatics in the last 2 years, that this is certainly going to happen again. And you need to look at coins that are affordable, have rarity, and have staying power graded. If you were able to look at any of those aspects of what we have here with this series, then you're going to ultimately understand that this is something that's going to be a worthwhile investment in time. You know, to take a quick look at some 2020 West Points. Okay, the only difference is there's a V75 Privy Mark. These, again, performing similarly to the 2019s. Prices, Salt River Bay, one of the first releases of the year, is widely available in mint-state condition, some of those high grades. So those are going to be the coins that are going to be available in larger quantities and are going to continuously hold a lower price pattern. So American Samoa and the Salt River Bay are the two that are available in higher quantities. And it's just incredible. But you can see there's still a lot of great deals to be had. People are selling lots of 2, 3, 4 coins at a time, larger lots. They're taking discounts to sell them, and that's okay. It's okay that we're eerily quiet in the marketplace for these coins, because this represents a short window where we could actually all go in and buy a few. I'm not telling you to spend $500 to buy as many as you can, if and only if you want to. But go out there and buy 1 or 2 of them. If you're looking to assemble a set in a collection and you don't have the $50 to pay for 1 coin, but now it's down to 30, heck, why not, right? It represents an open door to a lot of different areas within the hobby. Whether you're an investor, collector, a grader, whatever you want to see it as. But this is something I'm going to be getting into, and it's not going to stop. I am incredibly bullish on this 2-year short series of low mintage quarters. That it would be dumb to turn a blind eye to it. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Sorry to keep the video so long and kind of overbearing. It might be the case. I'm not sure. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. That's just a dry cough. We're going to end it on a little cup of coffee here. Delish. Gotta get my caffeine high for the next round of videos to kick off June. That's going to go ahead and do it. You guys take care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that good old bell. You know what it does. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.